We're on. Buy our merch. We have 7 water bottles left. We've sold out of rash guards. So when I say buy our merch, buy 7 water bottles. Also, like and subscribe to our stuff if you want to help us. Hey, maybe if you're watching this, maybe sign up. I'm just saying, help us out. Steve needs a roof over his head and a meal every now and again. What I want to look at now is I just want to finish off by extrapolating on the goals that Jono has when he's on top of me. We started in the last video and we talked about the nature of jiu-jitsu. Now let's take that into an actionable sort of setting. So we've talked about how I effectively frame. Let's think about it. I'm engaging like 4 main muscle groups in order to frame effectively. Okay. If I start taking those muscle groups away, I become less effective at framing. That's an obvious thought experiment you guys can do at home. So, thinking to that, I want you guys to think about how you disconnect someone's lat from their frame. It's like you're unplugging, yeah, like an energy system, and all of a sudden their car is less powerful. You know, their lift is less whatever, man. Let's you understand what I'm saying. So this is what we're gonna look at. One of Jono's big things that he wants, just stay there. He hovers over me. If Jono gets my elbow above my shoulder line, what does that mean for my lat? Well, that means if Jono pushes on my arm now, yeah, I can't stop him. Because think of all the tiny muscle groups that are involved in me just trying to hold this up now. As opposed to if I attach my lat, it becomes harder for him to move my arm, he moves my whole body. Okay, so that's one of Jono's primary goals when he's on top. It's not to get to side control on mount. Otherwise, again, you could just sit on someone in side control on mount and win. People wouldn't be able to escape. Jono's goal is to make sure that I cannot effectively frame from the bottom. Okay, and it is pretty much as simple as that. Okay, when we come to talking about this first major area. Okay, so first goal of Jono, do not let me effectively frame on you. Now, he's going to be doing that in 2 ways. As we talked about, and if you watch Gordon Ryan and John Danaher's series, what they mean by when they want their elbow above their shoulder line is it means it exposes lat. So lat exposure is the first thing Jono wants. If he gets lat exposure, it means I cannot effectively frame him. Okay. The second thing Jono might want is back exposure. Why is back exposure so awesome and such a good thing to chase? Well, where am I designed to frame now? I am designed to deal with someone in front of me, okay? The direction my hips are facing, not someone behind me, okay? If I try and frame on Jono now behind me, ow, it's not effective anymore, okay? So when Jono's on top of me trying to submit me and dominate me, he isn't necessarily looking for side control, mount, north, south, whatever. He's looking for those 2 scenarios. He's looking for lat exposure, he's looking for back exposure. If he gets 1 or 2, a couple of those things, it means I can no longer frame on him effectively. Okay. A third thing he's looking for is he's looking to control my hips and shut my hips and knees down. What does that mean? Well, it means, especially from my hip point of view, if I can't adjust my hip positioning, I can't adjust my frame positioning. If I can't adjust my frame positioning, then I cannot generate effective leverage from the bottom and I cannot escape. Okay? So really, to sort of summarize the things I need to unwrap from bottom side control is I need to make sure those 3 things don't happen to me. Okay, and those 3 things, they can be expressed in different ways, right? If he gets my knees facing away from me, that means my hips and frames aren't facing into him. If he opens my shoulder up, it means I can't engage my lats to frame on him. So this is what I mean when I say think about the techniques and sequences and instructionals you watch. How do they solve these problems? And that is the game of jiu-jitsu, right? Someone will come along with a better way to solve this problem or a different way to solve this problem that no one has patterns to recognize yet. Okay, so to summarize, Jono is looking for 3 things on top of me. He ain't looking for side control. Okay, that's white belt mentality. What he's looking for is he's looking to disconnect my frames, and he's also looking to make sure that I cannot adjust my hip positioning. If he does those 2 things, you know, in this sort of series, just let's think about it from 3 points of view. If he gets lat exposure, I can't frame on him. If he gets back exposure, I can't frame him. If he gets hip control, I can't adjust my frames. If he gets 1, 2, 3 of those things, I get dominated from the bottom.